sometimes you can go from something like an Alpha that's in the 70s to $100,000 range, and then they see your house is really awesome. They're like, okay, he's got a great mortgage. He's been paying that for a while. He's had multiple homes.
In some cases, you can go from that car, which is 70, 80, 90 grand, into the 300K range if you've got other great assets.
Okay, I have to interrupt because as I am sitting here editing this for you now, I realized when I left yesterday to go to Lamborghini San Antonio, it really was for me to get just some photos and content for social media. Maybe I would just vlog it. And of course I did vlog. I made stops and captured some things. And you know, it wasn't until about an hour into it, I was like, man, you know what? You know, I am, you know, remembering that I want an exotic. And it's not like I've forgotten. I'm around these exotics all of the time. So I really want an exotic, and I don't know how close I am to even making that happen. And maybe I think I need a lot more cash on hand than I actually need. And I'll just say, in kind of revamping my thought process around conducting an interview and asking questions to help me understand what are the steps that I need to take to owning my first Lamborghini. And I felt that, you know, maybe there's some of you that don't realize how close you are as well. Because when I left here, I am sitting here today like, wow, it is literally about to happen. It literally is about to happen. I will say, get your pen and your notepad ready. He is going to give you some actionable steps to getting there, and you'll see how much closer you are than you actually think. As I allow the video to roll back into the rest of the vlog, bear with me as I roll into Lamborghini San Antonio to take the tour around the facility, as well as this sit-down conversation and interview with Alex. Before I start this 2-hour trek, I need some fuel. All right, we are now at CNS Cigars, where I need to grab some cigars for a colleague of mine who has a birthday that we're celebrating tomorrow. Well, she's already had a birthday, but we're celebrating it tomorrow. And Leaf by Oscar is definitely one of her faves. So she saw this that I had from the last time I was here, so I'm definitely getting her this 10th anniversary. And then I believe, if I remember, Sumatra and Maduros are her favorite as well. So we're definitely picking up 1, 2, 3. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to surprise Alex. Alex used to work at a different place. I can't name that just yet because I haven't said where we're going or shown. But he used to work at a different brand. He's now moved to San Antonio to help with this new brand. And I just want to give him like a congratulatory cigar. And I have no idea if he smoked. So I guess I'm going to find out if he cared for it or not. But let's see what we're going to get. Welcome to Lamborghini of San Antonio. I am sitting here with Alex. He goes by Lamborghini Alex on Instagram. And wow, this place is astonishing. He has already shown me some footage from, what's that, a couple of months ago.
Let's go. Yeah.
Wow. I can imagine how he felt when he made his trek here and had no idea what it was going to look like. So I think this journey is starting off pretty darn good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to ask him a few questions. Y'all see where I'm sitting? I'm sitting in his office. I feel like I'm getting ready to start the process of buying one. Not today, but we'll see what happens in the near future, right? So, Alex, tell us about a little bit about your journey, maybe what you did before.
Sure.
What you did before coming to Lamborghini San Antonio.
Yeah.
And, what are some things that someone like myself or anyone else that's looking in the future to buy their first exotic, be it a Lamborghini,
Sure.
what are some key things we should have in place to really know that we're ready for that, to embark on that journey?
Yeah, sure. So a little bit about myself. I came from Porsche in Austin, Texas. I was there for about 4 years and I enjoyed it. I loved the Porsche brand. I loved the customer. I had a really good time, but I think I hit a moment in that job where I felt like I had achieved a really high level of success there. And I wanted something else that was just even beyond. And I'd always dreamed about exotic since I was a kid, of owning one and being in this culture and in this club. And the opportunity came up to make the switch. So I drove out, I checked it out. It was in complete construction chaos, so I really couldn't tell what this place was. I had no vision of what it would look like, nothing like that, but I knew that Lamborghini, this iconic brand, was attached to it. So I thought, you know what, why not make the jump? I bet there's hundreds of people that would love to have this opportunity. So I thought, I'll take the job. But it was a big deal for me moving from Austin to San Antonio. So I had to take my family literally from 1 week to the next and jump ship and move everything for an uncertain future. I knew nothing that was going to happen. I didn't know how big this place was going to be, but it ended up being one of the bigger dealerships in the entire world for Lamborghini. Now that I'm here, a lot of people have been reaching out stating that they're interested in buying a Lamborghini and they want to know kind of the process and the steps. And I'll tell you this level, once you get to this level of car, that means that you've already worked very hard in your life. You've checked all the boxes. You've gotten a bunch of sports cars probably already, but now you're ready for something a little bit more. And that's really what Lamborghini offers, along with other nice Italian and German exotic cars. But something special about Lamborghini is it's that iconic brand that everyone dreams about owning one day. For some people, it's way out there and it's not attainable. But for others, they know that if they just work a little bit harder and they stretch a little bit more and they save a little bit here and they really go that extra mile, that it is attainable. So one of the things to consider is you're not just buying this car, you're buying into this exclusive club of people that are just like yourselves, like-minded, they're winners, they make it happen, they're doers, they don't stop, they stay late, they go the extra mile. And in doing that, those people typically are gonna bring money to the table. So if you're looking to buy say like a Huracan, for example, price point can be anywhere from 300s to 500,000 for something like an STO. It's gonna bring on something serious as far as credit. Like you're gonna have really awesome credit, good history with other comparable brands. So whether it's BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, stuff like that in your past, Alpha even is one of those brands where we know that you've done the work, and the creditors obviously can see that as well. They're like, okay, let's take the risk on this person because it looks like they're making these jumps in cars. So now they're willing to give you the car, your dream car, and they'll probably require something like maybe a 5 to 10% down payment, depending on your credit. If your credit's super stellar, they can tell that you've done very good in the past, they may not require much at all, maybe 5% or less. But I find most of these customers, when they're buying these cars and we're making these decisions to buy like a $700,000 Revolto, they're already telling me, hey, is it okay if I put $200,000-$300,000 down towards this car? And I'm like, absolutely. So think about stuff like that. When people say, what does it take to get a Lamborghini? I'd say it takes a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hard work and good amount of money too. It's not just like they're letting everybody into the club. You gotta have your game strong. So if you really want one of these cars, just keep your head down, save your money, keep the credit up, and just keep buying cars in a way almost like stair stepping. You just keep moving up. Every few years, you just want to keep getting something a little bit more money. Because, for example, if you come to me and you've only ever bought like say $50,000, $60,000 cars, which are very expensive, when I come to Lamborghini Bank and I'm like, hey, take a shot on this guy John B. He's done very well. He bought a $60,000 Mercedes. It's beautiful. They're like, well, for us to put that $60,000 guy or girl in a say a $300,000 car, you're jumping hundreds of percents up. So for them, it's kind of scary, it's kind of risky, and they don't want to put you into that position. So what they really want to see is somebody with good auto history. That would really help you get something like an approval. If you're paying cash, none of that matters. But I'd say a lot of these people that come to us are very smart with their money. They don't want to just put all their money on the line for $700,000 Revelto. They'd rather keep a little bit of skin in the game, put some down payment, and then keep the rest of the money invested in it, whether it's real estate, stock market, whatever. Just keep that in mind when you're looking to come and join the Lamborghini Club. It's going to take a little bit of sacrifice, but it's 100% worth it. Because once you're in the club, it's hard to get out of the club. You'll find that not only the cars are excellent, but the way that they treat you is excellent, because you're expecting a certain level of service at this point, because you've tried so hard your whole life to get here. Now you're here. What's it all about? It's all about the service, really. Bending over backwards for you, making sure that you are our number one, no matter what. No matter if you buy one car or 50, we're going to treat everybody the same. And that's truly what this experience is about, is getting into the club and then staying in the club and getting the benefits of the club, meeting these really awesome, like-minded individuals who've done very well in life, who want to rub elbows with you. Now they're like, okay, he or she has made it into the club. There must be something special about them. So that's going to be a big thing for you. If you can get in here, everything else will be easy. So I'll see you at the top. If you want to come by, I'll show you the shop. I'd love to help motivate you and help you dream bigger, because until you dream at this level, you won't ever consider yourself being at this level. So you have to picture it first, and then maybe some of you want to come and visualize it and see it. That's really what it takes if you want to get to this level. You want to see it first, and then just vision it every single day, and visualize the attack, and you'll be here very soon. Sooner than you think. I mean, we're getting calls from 25-year-old kids that want to buy these cars cash, and I'm just blown away. But that's their life, and they've done what they needed to do to get to this level, and we're going to treat them just like everybody else.
So you made mention of cars, the price point of cars that have been purchased before. Mm-hmm. Now, as I mentioned, I have the Alfa Romeo Stelvio portfolio. That one cost me roughly $70K.
Yep.
So that's the most expensive car I have ever purchased, and I've got a history of, as I mentioned, BMWs, Mercedes. However, I do realize that one of the key things you said is that I need to purchase some other higher end vehicles. Maybe, well, for me, I'm not ready for 300K yet, 400K. At least I don't think I am. I don't know how the numbers work just yet, but maybe by the time I start, then we'll see where I'm actually at. But as far as my comfortability, I'm looking 100K. I'm looking maybe 150K. So one of the cars that I have thought about, in fact, has been a Lamborghini Gallardo.
Oh yeah.
And okay, awesome.
Love that car.
So I guess for you, I'm assuming, especially if it's a Lamborghini brand, then that's going to be, extra check marks as far as looking to buy something else new. What maybe are some other cars you would recommend to start with before we get to looking at a Lamborghini Huracan?
Yeah. So it's really not up to the dealer's sake too. Like, if it was up to me, I'd say let's go right after the Huracan Evo or a Huracan STO or a Technica for $300,000. I'd love to sign you up today. It's really the bank. The bank is looking at risk mitigation. They're trying to mitigate any risk they can, and in doing that, they look at your auto past history. But if you come to the table and you've got great real estate assets and you've got some other great assets that are showing on your credit, they also take that into consideration. So sometimes you can go from something like an Alfa that's in the $70,000 to $100,000 range, and then they see your house is really awesome. They're like, okay, he's got a great mortgage. He's been paying that for a while. He's had multiple homes. Okay, so he's good there. He pays everything. His credit's pretty solid. In some cases, you can go from that car, which is 70, 80, 90 grand, into the 300K range if you have got other great assets. But if you were to go into, which I recommend is like the stepping stone phase, where you go from like, say like a 60 or 70K car into like a 100 to 120K car, keep that for a year or two. Then you go into like maybe a 150 to 200K car. That's the smart and reasonable route, which would require you to be in something like, I hate to say it, but maybe another brand, one of the German brands, like Porsche, a used Porsche, possibly say Gallardo is a really good option, especially higher mileage Gallardos. You can find them pretty reasonable in like the mid 100s to the sometimes high 300s, just depending on the year and the miles. But it's good to look at it from that standpoint. It's not that the dealership per se wants to keep you out of that car and make it hard for you and raise the barriers of entry. It's mainly just banks mitigating risk. So I'd say the BMWs, the Porsches, any of the used Lamborghinis that you can get your hands on that are reasonable and something that you can personally afford would probably be what I did. But if you just want to make that giant leap, maybe you've got your assets in line where it just makes sense to just go straight to the top. And not to say you can't just apply for that $300,000 car and the bank's like, you know what, let's just do it. I feel good about this person. Their credit's excellent. So maybe try it out. Maybe you go to a dealer, and if you think you can stomach like, for example, a $300,000 car payment would be in the $5,000 to $6,000 range per month. If you think you can stomach that and still pay all your bills and still have enough money to save at the end of the day, then I'd say try it out. See what the bank says. But if they say, hey, you know what, maybe we won't approve you for 300, but you know what, we can probably do you for 200. That really got your thinking up, because you were looking at a $100,000 car before, but now they're like, hey, you can afford 200K. So then now 200K starts really opening up some awesome options. And from there, you can look into a number of different Lamborghini options. So I'd say shoot for the stars, see what the bank says, because that's what it's all about. And it's always important. I know Dave Ramsey's going to hate this, but you got to keep your credit solid. You've got to have that stuff paid off every month, because bankers look at that. And when a bank is looking to approve you for like your first commercial property or something in that line, they're going to look at like your auto pass history. So if you've got like the Alfa Romeo on the line, you've got a bunch of BMWs, then you had a Lamborghini in there, they're going to see that and say, okay, your cars say a lot about you without you saying anything about yourself. So that's another part too, is not only are the bankers going to see that, but your other colleagues and the people you rub elbows with are also going to see you pulling up to the car shows with that awesome whip every single time. And they're like, okay, there's something about that person. They're not just your average guy or gal. So I'd say just look at it from that standpoint. But those other brands that I mentioned are pretty good. If you look at the car market right now, especially the used car market, I've noticed prices have come down a little bit. So they're not as elevated as they were in 2022. Stuff's a lot more attainable. Cars aren't going for like these enormous amounts of money over like they were before. I noticed some cars are still over, but it's not nearly as bad and it's not as high. So might be a great time to start looking into an exotic or maybe a used exotic. I'd say that's the best route. And if you do it that way, you'll appreciate that new one so much more when you finally get there. Because say you go buy your first used Gallardo and you love it, but then you notice like there's certain things you'd like to change, like maybe the seat color or maybe like the rim options or the overall car color. Owning that car for a year or two is going to help you appreciate that new one when you finally get it. When you're sitting in my office right there, you're signing the paperwork for your new Huracan, you're going to be crying with tears in your eyes because it's such a huge deal. Because you know where you've came from. You've sacrificed so much. You've kind of gone through the trenches to get here, and it's going to make it so much sweeter. So I really can't wait to see you guys in here so I can walk you around and help give you a vision and motivate you. But some of you guys are going to come in here already ready to go with all your credit and your assets lined up. And you're like, let's get this car, and next year I want to get this car, because it's really a club. We don't want to just treat you like a number. We want to treat you like you're in this club and you're one of our like family members. This is not anything else like you've ever joined in your life. We want to bend over backwards and really make you feel like the special person you are, because you deserve it. I mean, you worked hard to get here, so we're going to treat you like you did.
I have something for you. Now I have no idea if this is part of your lifestyle. It is definitely a part of mine. But I picked you up something just to say congratulations. Open it up, take a look at it, and see if that's something that you can use.
Oh, man, look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
No one's ever gotten me a cigar. That's nice.
Well, that's what's
Actually,
up.
I can't say that. One of my buddies, Tom, he did give me a cigar when I got married, but
And then you got a cutter, so you got a straight. This is the first time I've ever seen this.
Okay.
But it's a straight here, so if you like straight, or I got into where I like diamond, so it kind of cuts a V into
Oh, nice.
to it,
Okay.
and it's dope. Yeah,
That's cool.
Because sometimes when you do straight, you cut off too much of that cap.
Okay.
And then it starts unraveling.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely had some people give me one to smoke, but
Yeah.
never actually had a gift one. This is awesome.
Yeah. Well, he's got one to smoke, y'all. Okay, guys, that is it for today. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that the information shared was of value to you, so that you can look forward to buying your first Lamborghini, or your second one, third one, however many that you want to own. And I am definitely looking forward to this journey in buying my first exotic car, but more specifically a Lamborghini. So for now, it is the Alfa Romeo Stelvio QV. Pretty darn fast. I love it. With that said, always show up for yourself, love yourself. You have to do that for you before you can do it for anybody else. And in the meantime, keep driving. Salute.